Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, August 21st. A lot to talk about. Hope I can get through it. We're looking at window traders, market profile of SPY IWM and triple Qs. So right off the bat, a lot of things just to point out. Number one, we always talk about how short covering makes a market weaker. Well, Tuesday was pure short covering, even though we went trend. Yesterday, I was impressed. The buy stayed in the upper end of Tuesday's range, but that's more short covering. And then this morning, we gap higher with momentum buying. Once that ended, once the short covering was done and the momentum buyers found there was no floor below them, all we did was reverse and take back everything. We're in an 8-day balance now. We were talking about an outside week up. Now we have to worry about an outside week down for both us and Qs. We got above that very wide February POC this morning. Got above both the 20 and 200-day moving average. And then we go and close below the 50-day moving average by about $2.50. We told the room, I had a decent day trading, did not take advantage of this. There was a lot of mixed MGI early with the higher value, the gap again. The picture became a lot clearer come C and D, and I still did not take advantage of it. I did not expect a $13 pullback from the day's high. If anybody said they did, I wouldn't believe them. But you knew there could be some damage done. I didn't think they would take back so much of what they tried to attempt to get, these short-term traders, over the last bunch of days. I told the room the opening was huge because it was right at both the 20 and 200-day moving average. I said, whoever wins that will win the day. Now, I didn't expect them to win the day by $13 to the downside. But they did. Russell, we go out, SPY and ES have 5 sets of single prints, a price probe, an afternoon rally high, and a highest accepted price. And the afternoon rally high is textbook, eyes high. Single prints above it, single prints below it. We probed, Q's probed. Russell did not. Russell goes out with 4 sets of single prints. Triple Qs go out with, I think, believe it or not, no, they did have 2. They have E and they have K. We're a triple distribution day in SPY. So you have from L's high to the day's low, one separate day. J's low to G's high is the middle distribution. And then basically B's low to A's high. I'm not going to go over all my trades. I did okay. I made money today. But I certainly did not participate in this flush down. Now, the volume's not heavy. It's $82.5 million. It's decent for what we've had. Somebody said, is this long-term selling? I said, absolutely not. I said, this was a market, and you'll see it on the daily, that came out of balance finally. Shorts covered. Momentum buying came in, and they just gave it all up. Why did they give it all up? Because Powell spoke twice today and said there'll be 50 basis point hikes. Somebody suggested a 75. We know all this. This is the problem with short-term traders. The long-term money doesn't care about any of this. And like I said, the market will care when it wants to. So far, they don't care. The big boys. But short-term players just panic. They run this market up, then they hear 50 or 75 basis point hike, and look what they do. So again, tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we take half this day back. I also would be surprised if we gap lower. They're a very fickle bunch. Algorithms don't care. They're mindless machines, and retail traders just go along for the ride. The best trade that I should have taken today and did not was D period. Should have taken that short in D against B single prints. That was a great risk reward short. Now, at that time, though, to put it in context, excuse me. At that time, to put it in context, value was still higher, and D actually got above yesterday's high again. However, it was still a good risk reward short. Either if the single prints failed or we got above the opening, okay, we're going back now. Never did, and then that was it. That was all she wrote. As far as destinations, there's a lot on the upside. Price probe, L's low, 437.87. Now, write these down, please. A lot of single prints. First set, 439.72 to 440.34. L's high to J's low. Then we have the afternoon rally high of 443.62. I's high. Then we have single prints, 444.42 to 67. Single prints, 445.07 to 446.39. Single prints, 446.72 to 92. Single prints, 447.65 to 86. B's high, highest accepted price, 449.42. That was also a nuance. I didn't want to believe it at the time. I'm like, we have a gap. We have higher value. We have the overnight high. Is B's high really a highest accepted price? And by that I mean A closed, B opened 3 cents above A's close, never went high, and that was it. Didn't think that would hold. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. And then today's high of 450, so 449.42 highest accepted price, and then 450.01 today's high. For the downside, 437.10 daily low. 433.19 daily low. 432.52 9 wide for March 16th, and then nothing to 424.80 daily low. So we always talk about these price vacuums on the downside, and the sellers never seem to be able to get them. Well, they have another chance again tomorrow. And then on the chart, tomorrow night I'll recap all 3 of these indices. So here's the weekly. It's balance. We took out last week's low. We took out last week's high. And now we're going back towards last week's low. I did a poll on Twitter. I said, I only did it for yesterday because I didn't want people having, today's action. Would we have an outside week up, down, or neither? Now, right off the bat, I have, 4,500 followers on Twitter. Only 130 people voted. If I did a poll on people, do people like their steak rare or medium, I'd have 4,000 votes. I think it's pathetic that people who supposedly follow you for a reason to learn don't participate in something like that. So out of 128 votes, 50 said up, 30 said down, or maybe it's something like that, and then the rest were neither. Well, we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow, whether we get it or not. And then on the daily, so we came out of balance yesterday, up. I said even though we closed inside of this yesterday, I'm giving the buyers their due. Excuse me. So when we gapped up today above the 20 and the 200, I'm like, wow, these 2 daily highs are close together. We now have 3 daily highs that are within 60-something cents of each other. I'm like, this should be a pretty good target. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong as we just rolled back over. So now it is an 8-day balance. Remember the firecracker fuse and triple Qs? I got to show you this because this is interesting. Look at triple Qs did today. They came out of their balance to the upside. Here's the fuse. It's like somebody lit a match, and this is a huge freaking rocket. And as soon as it got above the 50 and took out the balance high, it exploded, and look what we did. So technically, they're an outside day down. All 3 of us are, by the way. Russell, Qs, and us. Now, do you want to still call Russell balance? You can, but it did stretch it by a lot. So you can even call the you can even call the Qs down now on the daily. And then I'll just show you Russell real quick. Look at Russell. It took how many days to come out of balance to the upside yesterday? They held it for 1 day and an opening, and then come right back into a balance. Very interesting. So as bad as the day was, as far as ES and SPY go, All three time frames are in balance. Thanks for the likes and subscribing. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.